Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live. I am Larry Nyland. Thanks to everyone from West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake for tuning in on this wonderful Thursday morning. The Splash Live is Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily TV and radio streaming show. Watch us live Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. on Civic Center TV. Also catch us on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, on the web at civiccentertv.com, on Civic Center TV's Facebook app, and you can even listen live on 89.3 Lakes FM. Splash Live is part of Civic Center TV and Lakes FM. It's 90 minutes of live local programming. Let's take a look at the weather now. Well, fall is definitely back as we look at some mostly cloudy skies today and a high of only about 55. Tonight, clearing skies, which will lead us to seeing the temps back into the 30s for probably the first time in 6 months as we get down to a low of 37 overnight. And then for Friday, partly cloudy skies and a high of only 53 degrees. Looking at some local headlines, the chilly weather in store goes great with an event going on at West Bloomfield Parks later today and tomorrow, and that is the group hay rides. Experience the changing seasons at Marshbank Park while enjoying a 20-minute tractor-drawn hay ride. You'll encounter a few nature knowledge stops along your route for added adventure. Take your picnic blanket and find a cozy spot to enjoy cider and a seasonal treat. The registration fee is for one-time slot and includes a private hayride for your group of 30 maximum people, cider, donuts, and 4 roll-up picnic blankets. Choose from the following time slots: 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30. Hayrides are priced at group rates. Pick your own group of up to 30 people. The cost is $130 for residents, $145 for non-residents. Cost is for one group of up to 30 people. Each hayride is private and reserved for your group. For more information on the hayrides, contact www.wbparks.org/group/hayrides. Looking at some news in education, October is National Principals Month, and the West Bloomfield School District is honoring some of their own all month long. The latest honoree is Lisa Graff, Assistant Principal for West Bloomfield High School. Lisa has spent 27 years in the education field, all of it with the West Bloomfield School District. Congratulations to Lisa, and we at The Splash want to thank her for her service to our community for all of these years. Looking at football coming up this Friday, another big game upcoming for the West Bloomfield Lakers football squad. Last Friday night, they rolled to a 27-0 lead in the first half, then cruised to a 34-3 victory over the Oxford Wildcats. Some of the most unsung parts of any football team are the positional coaches. Our own Tyler Kieft had the chance to talk with one of the Lakers' positional coaches, defensive backs coach Kayson Dickerson, and Tyler asked him what he can point to for his secondary playing at such a high level this season so far.
I always say the key is preparation, knowing your assignment and doing your assignment. Then the next thing is to be technically sound, be sound in your technique, be disciplined in your eyes, move your feet, strike at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, and, stay square, and I think that we got some guys who put some great work in the offseason, running track, so they're able to run up the field with anybody, just be disciplined, make plays on the football, and have that continuity in the back end. Communication is pivotal, knowing what type of route concepts you're going to get out of certain formations, and then ultimately film preparation plays a huge role in our secondary.
And it's great, too, to have the leadership that you have in the secondary, too. Veteran players, Jameer Benjamin, on the younger guys, but still a lot of varsity experience. There's certainly Samaj Morgan. Epps has been there for a while. Lorenzo Wilden's been that role, too. How important is that to have those guys in these key positions now, especially as over the last few weeks we've seen a lot of younger guys coming up the depth chart and getting some first-team reps? Yeah,
those guys have built the cohesiveness here at West Bloomfield. They've been playing together for at least 2 years now in the secondary. They started off as younger guys getting reps in the secondary, but a lot of guys was up on varsity, and they was able to emulate some of those guys who was there when we won the state championship and see how those guys prepare, the Maxwell Harristons and those guys. And, they really took it upon themselves to get better and better as a group. So I think they're playing really, really well. I like what Adrian Epps and Samaj Morgan is doing in the back end for our secondary, and alongside with Jameer, Bryce Rowe, and then also Lorenzo Williams. And then also Deontay Pippen, who's a two-way threat for us as well. You'll see him probably featured in some of the game coming up here.
Yeah, we've seen Deontay Pippen come back up and play in some of those key roles in the safety position, also as a cornerback over the last couple weeks, and make some really important plays for these Lakers against Lake Orion and Oxford. A couple of really tough weeks coming up against great quarterbacks, Isaiah Marshall this week at Southfield A&T, and then you're going up against another soon-to-be playoff team at Ike right here at West Bloomfield to finish off the regular season. How important is it for you guys to hone in these next couple weeks and really learn whatever they can playing against these high-level quarterbacks and excellent receiving cores, especially as we go into playoff time?
Well, I think we will have it no other way. You know, we're a competitive group, and that's how we like it. We call ourselves DBU, and we want to exemplify just that. So we want to rise up to the challenge. You know, I tell those guys, you know, you don't have to rise up to the competition. You seek to your level of training. And I think that our guys have been training. They've been skill developed all season long. You know, in the off season, a lot of our guys, they do 7-on-7 clubs. And so they playing, you know, 7-on-7 all around and playing man-to-man defense. And so they continuously getting reps and reps and reps at this. So the more reps you get, you know, the better you are, you know, as a secondary. And then it's carrying over to the football, and you can see it translating in the season. You know, when they put them humps on, those guys are able to run with anybody, cover anybody up the field, and they like to take on the challenge. You know, they play with a chip on their shoulder. I coach with a chip on my shoulder, bring energy and enthusiasm every day, and that's what we do. You know, so we accept the challenge that they're gonna bring on.
Top down, that energy certainly reflects in the Lakers secondary, and it's been showing this season. Very tough team to throw the football against and the move in the receiving core against these West Bloomfield Lakers. We're joined by defensive backs coach Kason Dickerson on This Week in Laker Football, and you mentioned some of those guys in the past, Maxwell Hairston, certainly Makari Page at the University of Michigan, another one of those guys that you look down the list of Laker defensive backs, and that's really what defines this program as DBU. What makes that difference for you and for the coaching staff and for these guys on the practice field and in the film room to make this such a great place to learn to play cornerback and safety and be a really effective secondary?
I would say, you know, it starts, you know, with the preparation and also the skill development. Me, myself, personally, I coach year round. So I'm coaching all year round. So I'm coaching 7-on-7 clubs. I'm coaching against different teams. They running different concepts. And, you know, we just getting prepared. Also, our secondary coach, Coach Cam, he coached in the back end with me. He does an amazing job, too, of getting the analytics down and what they like to do and what they like to run out of certain formations. You know, you speak the history of West Bloomfield and the players that came far beyond my years, you know, and then, you know, some of the Makari Page and the Maxwell Harrisons that came along, and they just solidified it as DBU, you know what I mean? Make guys want to come here and make guys want to play for a great coach and make guys want to, you know, be better. You know, who's going to be the next Laker? Who's going to be the next, you know, ambassador of DBU at Laker Nation?
Couple more weeks left in the regular season, a couple of tough games coming up against Southfield A&T and then Ike as the home finale before playoff time. What needs to be done in your secondary to make those last-minute improvements and be ready for a tough playoff push?
Well, I wouldn't say it's all about the secondary, you know what I'm saying? I would say the front end take care of the back end. So we got some great pass rushers with Brandon Davis-Swain and Xavier, you know, and Kari Jackson and Montel. And so those guys take care of us, you know what I'm saying? We send some heat and you know, the front end to take care of the back end. So I think as much as we would like to take all the credit and the glory, it starts with the whole cohesiveness of the defense. So if our defensive line do what they need to do, it'll take care of us in the secondary.
And this week, the Lakers have another big game as they travel on the road to take on Southfield A&T. The Warriors have only one loss on the season and are undefeated in OAA play. As always, tune into the live game on Civic Center TV and WBTV. If you don't have time to sit down and watch it, listen on the go at 89.3 Lakes FM. A reminder that this week's game will be kicking off a tad later than normal at 7:40 p.m. That's this Friday, October 14th. We're going to take a quick break here on the Splash Live, and when we get back, I'll be talking with our good friends from West Bloomfield Parks. Don't go away.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the MegaCast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the MegaCast, weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3, and streaming on MyMyTV.com.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I am Larry Nyland. Well, they say neither rain nor sleet nor snow will stop a mailman from doing his job, and the same can be said for the hardworking folks at West Bloomfield Parks. Joining us now is Recreation Programmer from West Bloomfield Parks, Brittany Trout. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Larry. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, Brittany, I don't think I've had the pleasure of speaking with you on air before, so could you start off by telling us just a little bit about your background and how you ended up as part of the West Bloomfield Parks team?
Yeah, I went to school at Siena Heights University for my college education and majored in sport management, business administration. And I was a RA for a time there, which I was involved with the community and planning and leading some events for the roommates and such that I had in my halls. After that, I started to look on Indeed, look for that first full-time big girl job, and I happened to stumble upon the WB Parks programmer for special events, and it really just aligned with what I was looking to do, and I filled out the application, and luckily I'm now here. 5 years it's been, working on my 6th year, so it's crazy and amazing how time flies.
Indeed it does. So with the cooler temps outside and the leaves falling, we know that Halloween can't be too far away, and that means once again it's time for the ever-popular trick-or-treat trail put on by West Bloomfield Parks. Can you tell us a little bit about this year's event and how the preparations are going?
Yeah, this year's event is off to a great start. We're excited to have it back again, and we are full right now, and we're working through our wait list. We, of course, have sometimes people have to cancel, so we're happy to give those people on the wait list a call to let them know that we have a spot now for them. So in preparation for Trick or Treat Trail, we have a lot of moving parts. We have getting our costume characters ready, picking out the new ones that we want to have on the trail for the kiddos to meet and get pictures taken with. And a big thank you to all of our community organizations and businesses that join us who help pass out candy. This is a big boy event, and it takes a full task force to get around. And at the end, the kids walk away with a full bag of treats and aren't going home disappointed.
So now you mentioned it is sold out already. Is there any chance that you would add any days and times, or this is what it is?
This is what it is. This is what we can handle to our best and give it it's 100%. But you never know, if you're on the wait list, you could get a call if someone does cancel. So if you're still looking forward to it, hop on that wait list.
So Brittany, another event not too far away is High Tops and High Heels. I love the name of that. Can you tell us a little bit about what High Tops and High Heels is?
Yes, High Tops and High Heels is mimicking our Mom Son dance. It is a little different this year, so that's why it's getting a new name, because it is its own event. We are still going to be hosted at Glen Oaks, but it's definitely more focused on enjoying some games and activities and really hitting that dance floor up. Light snacks and for refreshments will be provided, and the mother figures and sons get to choose if they want to strut their high heels or if they want to wear those high tops. So it's an exciting theme, and we're looking forward to that. And we do have spots open for that. So that event is November 17th, and that's on a Thursday, and it will be from, I think it is 5 to 7:30 or 5 to 8, one of those two. So it's a really fun time.
And it's hard to believe that we can say that Christmas is kind of just around the corner. And I know the mail service is still not quite what it was pre-COVID. So if any kids are concerned that Santa might not get their letters in time, West Bloomfield Parks has an answer called Letters to Santa. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Letters to Santa is an opportunity for kids to come drop off their letter in person to Santa. So you avoid that mailing system and you get to directly pass it off and talk to them about it. the families get to enjoy a picture, and then at the end they walk away with a little gift from Santa's elves. So it's a fun, quick event, and we do have limited spots on that. All of our events, we really thank our community because all of our special events have been really full lately. So it's been a new adjustment this year, and we've had to add in limitations for when we can have residents and non-residents register. So we really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to growing and adapting as we need.
So, Brittany, I mentioned at the top of the show, today and tomorrow, there's still the group hay rides going on at Marshbank Park. Are there still spots available for that?
I believe we actually had one spot open up today, so you can call our main office at 248-451-1900 to sneak in that last spot. Other than that, they are full, and today and tomorrow are our last time. So keep it on your calendars for next year, though.
And I saw on November 1st, there's a Senior Health Expo. Do you have anything you could share about that?
So our Health Expo is led by Heidi Russell. And if you are an organization that would be interested in sharing knowledge at the expo, you can contact her. And again, you can just call our front office. And for the community members, if you're looking for doctor care, healthcare, maybe a new home or apartment that can better help you, you should definitely check out the expo. It has a lot of relations and networking there that you can find out something that might help you.
And also, don't want to forget about the Heroes Appreciation Breakfast on November 8th this year, happening at West Bloomfield Middle School.
Yep, that's a go this year, and it'll be really cool to be in the new middle school. It has a beautiful layout, and there are spots open. So if there are any veterans out there who have not registered yet, you are more than welcome to, and you're able to bring a guest too. For all of these events, most all of them, we are looking for volunteers. So you can always check out our volunteer opportunities at wbparks.org, info, volunteer, or just call our front office and we can get you linked up.
Brittany, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you and your team for all your hard work that you do over there at West Bloomfield Parks.
Well, thank you guys too, and you guys take care.
Thanks so much. That's Brittany Trout, Recreation Programmer for West Bloomfield Parks. Well, the elections are just right around the corner. Joining us now to talk all about the local election process is our good friend, West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Biner. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Larry. How are you doing?
Great. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome. So I mentioned the November 8th election is under 6 weeks away from now. Can you talk about what the deadline is for folks to register to vote in West Bloomfield?
Okay, actually, with Proposal 3 of 2018, you can register up to and at the end of Election Day at 8 p.m. So you have a lot of time still to register. You can also request an absentee ballot to vote up till 4 p.m. the Monday before the election. That Monday is a hard stop. It's statutory. You have to request that ballot at the clerk's office by Monday at 4 p.m.
And when will, for those who are already applied for an absentee ballot, when will those be mailed out?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Have 15,000. Tomorrow we have 15,000 ballots ready to go out tomorrow. They will be picked up and sent out with a tracker on them tomorrow so that we make sure they get delivered to everybody's home.
So now I remember during the height of COVID, mail service was a little slow, and I know there was a big push to have people drop off their absentee ballots in person. Is that still the case, or if they get them, next week or so, there's still plenty of time to mail them in if people want to do that?
We still recommend, where feasible, that you use the drop box or return it to town hall. It just takes out that unknown of the mail. We did find in the end that the mail did work okay, but I will say that there were delays and there were days that we did not receive mail. So if you do have to rely on the mail, we have our college students, our military overseas voters, our snowbirds, people who really do need to rely on that mail, including our seniors. Don't wait. Return that absentee ballot as soon as you can. They'll go out tomorrow, as soon as you get it, vote it, and get it on its way back. If you haven't requested one yet, call my office. We'll send you an application or tell you how to send in an application. You can actually send that in digital. However, the ballot itself needs to be sent by mail to you and then returned to the clerk's office. It must be received by 8 p.m. on election day. So again, to remove any doubt or concern that the mail may not get here on time, we recommend using that drop box where feasible, or mailing early. Please do not delay. We have a sticker coming out on the beacon that will say, don't delay, return your absentee ballot today. And we still highly recommend that as the best way of making sure your ballot is received by 8 p.m. on election day.
So if we could go back just a bit to the primary elections back in August. Now, usually the turnout for those is not anywhere near what it is for the November elections. Do you have any statistics on what the turnout was in West Bloomfield for the primaries?
Turnout was about 30% for the primary. And we've had between, it's been in the 30s, it's been up to 37%, it's been a little bit lower, it depends on the year. I anticipate in the general last time we had about 66% turnout. I do anticipate that we will see probably for this election between 68 and 73% turnout is where I'm predicting. We normally are 75% in a presidential. We got up to about 79% in 2020. I do anticipate we will see near presidential turnout for this election. We have seen a shift toward absentee voting. People are choosing to vote that way, a right that was given by Proposal 3 of 2018 and protected in the Constitution. So it is now a no reason absentee, voting. People are choosing to vote that way. We saw in the last election about 63% of our ballots were cast by absentee. So it is important to make sure your voice is heard, get that absentee ballot back here on time.
And Debbie, I know with the recent redistricting that some polling locations had changed. Are there polling location changes for people in West Bloomfield who, if they've just voted last 2 years ago, that's going to be different from 2 years ago? And if so, how can they find out where exactly they need to go to vote?
Okay, so most of our polling changes were because our precincts were too large. There's a cap on the number of voters you can have. Redistricting didn't affect us as much. So most of our voters will stay the same. Those that have changed, the great majority of those that have changed will be in their same polling location. So even if they've switched precincts, when they get to their polling location, they'll find they may be in a different precinct, but they're in the correct place. There are a few people that have had a change. We have voters in precinct 15 that are west of Town Hall that have switched to Temple Israel. And then we have people who are voting at Orchard Lake Middle School that we made a temporary change through the end of this year to Chico. And we are going to bring to the board to consider keeping that location at Chico. It worked out really well. Parking is a little bit easier. The school district has been a really wonderful partner and has given us the green light to stay at Chico. We just need the board to approve that change. So those of you who are precinct 1, you may find a permanent change coming for Chico being your new polling location. Everybody should have received a new voter registration card with redistricting. It's a statutory requirement. If you still have questions, you can go to michigan.gov/vote, or I can also tell you that everyone at the clerk's office is very friendly and is happy to answer your call and tell you exactly which precinct and which polling location you would be voting in. I do want to remind people, Larry, also, we have sample ballots available at Town Hall. They are also available at that michigan.gov/vote. But for people who want to take a sample ballot in with them so they know what they want to choose when they go into the precinct, those are available. We've understood from others that people are requesting absentee ballots so they have a sample ballot. That's not the way to do it. Get a sample ballot from us or print one from online. Happy to help you. If you can't find it online, we're happy to help you get that. But it's a good way to go into that precinct knowing who you're going to vote for or what on the proposals. I myself tend to be a poll voter. I like the energy. I like to go in there and get my sticker. I like to see people. It's the same people. We have people who come back year after year to work. It's kind of a precinct family. So I will have my sample ballot that I will request from my clerk's office, and I will take it to the polls and vote. But again, people choose to, people are passionate about their choice of voting, whether it's in a precinct in their polling location or by absentee, and both rights are protected.
So Debbie, I know it's not just you folks in the clerk's office that makes these elections go smoothly. You have a lot of volunteer workers. Are you still in need of election workers for November?
We're always in need of election workers. We are in really good shape this year. I'm excited that we did do a lot of, working at recruiting people and put an ad in the Beacon, and it has been fruitful. We have had people step up and apply to become an election worker. We employ between 250 and 400 people for election day. It is a, like you said, volunteer, but it is a paid volunteer job. I won't say per hour it pays well, but it's a great opportunity to give back. And it's a wonderful opportunity for people to have something for their college applications or their resume, and as well as show something that shows giving back to your community. So we are always looking, that we have people who retire every year. I have people who've done this for 20, 25 years in West Bloomfield, and they love it. I always tell you, and I tell everyone, it's a long day. Everyone complains, but everyone comes back. They really do feel like they're part of something big. They're giving back to their community. They learn so much about the process. And in recent times where there's been so much focus on elections, nothing teaches as well as being involved and engaging in the process and understanding the process. So it's educational, reassuring, and an important part to get involved in your community. I do invite everybody that would fill out an application to be an election inspector and consider it. Whether we need more people this election or not, we're always taking those applications because there's always an increasing need for them as people do retire after many years of service. It is available online, or you can call my office at 248-451-4848. Again, it's 248-451-4848, and we can email you one, or you can drop by town hall, pick one up, and fill it out. We welcome you to get involved. We could not do what we do with 26 precincts without all of our dedicated election workers. It takes a lot of people, and we are grateful. They really are the ones putting themselves out there and getting involved to make sure that we can run smooth and fair elections. And for the number of voters that we do have in West Bloomfield, we have 56,000 registered voters in West Bloomfield Township. We are a large municipality. Takes a lot of people. So I'm very grateful for all of our community that is willing to get involved and does step up to help us run those elections.
Well, Debbie, we want to thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for all your hard work, and best of luck with everything come November 8th.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you for always being such a good partner and getting our messages out to people who need to hear it.
That was Debbie Binder, West Bloomfield Township Clerk. And a reminder again, the election is coming up on Tuesday, November 8th. You still have time to register. If you want to have an absentee ballot, you still have time for that. Please contact the clerk's office, and you can get any information you want, or just head on over to their offices just off of Walnut Lake Road, near Farmington Road in West Bloomfield. I want to remind everyone again, the Lakers have another big game as they travel on the road to take on Southfield A&T. The Warriors have only one loss on the season. As always, tune into the game live on Civic Center TV and WBTV. And if you don't have time to sit down and watch, just listen on 89.3 Lakes FM. Again, this week's game will be kicking off a little later. It will be at 7:40 to accommodate the Bally Sports television crew. I want to give a special shout out to Charlie, a good friend of our own, Calvin Brown, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge overnight. Rest in peace to Charlie. I want to thank our guest today, Brittany Trout from West Bloomfield Parks, and West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder. And thanks to all of our viewers for hanging out with us on the Splash Live. I am Larry Nyland. That is going to do it for our show today. A very happy Thursday to you from our very own Greater West Bloomfield TV, radio, and streaming show. Remember to watch us live Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. on Civic Center TV, and you can also watch us on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, on the web at civiccentertv.com, on Civic Center TV's Facebook app, and you can even listen live on 89.3 Lakes FM. West Bloomfield, we'll see you tomorrow.